the general manager of a bowling alley where a man died speaks out. What she has to say about the incident in a story you'll see only on 4. Plus, Hidalgo County officials have now approved a new ordinance for 8-liner businesses. What this means for the county and why some people say the machines could be more trouble than they're worth.
Live from Harlingen, McAllen, Brownsville, and all of the Rio Grande Valley in HD, this is Action 4 News at 6.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Marcy Martinez. Thanks so much for joining Action 4 News at 6 this Tuesday. Only on 4, the general manager of the Brownsville bowling alley where a man was killed is now speaking out. Police say the victim's shirt got caught in one of the machines, ultimately resulting in his death. Action 4's Tiffany Huertas has more.
The general manager at Galaxy Bowling Center says nothing like this has happened in the 13 years they've been open.
Lane 29 and 30 remain closed off Tuesday afternoon.
He was very quiet, but he was very nice, very nice.
Corina Gallegos, general manager of Galaxy Bowling Center along Pablo Casel Boulevard in Brownsville, was not at work when she heard the tragic news. One of her employees died at work.
We've never had an accident like this, and especially with an employee.
Vidal Garcia was working behind the bowling lanes. Gallegos says when his shirt somehow got tangled in the pin spotter, the machine that picks up bowling pins. It's unclear how exactly it happened, but he died. Brownsville police officers found Garcia dead last Thursday night. He had only been working at the alley since November and was in the U.S. Navy Reserves. Now Gallegos says employees are devastated.
We've been having therapy since Sunday and yesterday after the funeral.
She says everyone that goes behind the lanes is trained.
They start as pin chasers and then they start working more on machines.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is investigating the incident.
This accident that happened, had nothing to do with them bowling or it was no crime. It was just an accident that happened in the back with the machines.
Gallegos says she started the business more than 10 years ago with the intentions of creating a place where family and friends from all over can have a fun and safe time. She is hoping the investigation can soon come to an end so there can be closure.
Make sure that they knew that we were with them and we understand what they were going through, because we were going through all of that ourselves.
Both the Occupational Safety and Health Administration and Brownsville Police continue investigating. In Brownsville, Tiffany Huertas, Action 4 News.
And an autopsy has been ordered to determine the exact cause of death. Brownsville police releasing identities of 2 men wanted on murder charges tonight. Arrest warrants have now been issued for Edgar Martinez and Raimundo de la Fuente. Investigators believe these 2 men are involved in the death of Eleuterio Orduño Barrera. You may remember the 43-year-old was found dead on the side of the road a week ago. Preliminary autopsy results obtained by Action 4 News show Barrera was strangled with a wire. If you know where these men may be, call McAllen or Brownsville Crime Stoppers, that is, at 546-TIPS. 3 dozen smuggled undocumented immigrants rescued after being found crowded into a refrigerator truck trailer. Border Patrol agents found them during a search at the Falfurrias checkpoint. Agents say the undocumented immigrants were shivering due to the low temperatures. All declined medical attention. The driver now facing prosecution. And right now, an Edinburgh woman facing drug charges after police found a large amount of prescription pills in her home. Police arrested Melissa Benavides yesterday at the home just a week after they had searched the home. Police say they were investigating her for identity theft when they found about 17 doctor prescriptions filled out for Xanax under other people's names. A pharmacy technician notified police of the suspicious activity after Benavides allegedly came in looking to fill a prescription for her sister.
The normal prescription is 30 pills. She was getting 90 pills per prescription. So all this leads us to believe that she was not a user. She was actually maybe distributing these pills and selling them. And they go for about $3 to $4 a pill, depending on where you're buying them and who you're buying them from.
She is charged with 1 count of identity theft, prescription fraud, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of marijuana. All new at 6, the executive director of Hidalgo County's Community Service Agency is resigning. Executive Director Maribel Navarro-Sainz submitted her resignation yesterday due to health and family issues. This comes a week after county administrators questioned her about the agency's failure to use all $3 million of federal grant money. Navarro-Sainz's last day will be this Friday. The Hidalgo City Council is opening the door for 8-liner businesses to move into town, but not everyone is happy about that. Action 4's Brett Crandall explains.
The Hidalgo City Council is moving forward with an 8-liner ordinance, but some residents of the city and the county district attorney say it may be more trouble than it's worth. The Hidalgo City Council became the third city in the county to approve an ordinance permitting 8-liner businesses within city limits Monday, but not all residents welcome the new business.
I think it's ridiculous. They should have just kept it away from here. We have enough things going on in the city that need to be fixed than to bring another something that's going to create more problems for a lot of more people.
This all comes after La Jolla 8-liner El Coyote was raided by multiple law enforcement agencies last Friday. Something Rosa Medina says should be a red flag for bringing these types of businesses to Hidalgo.
And I think La Jolla made a big mistake, and they should have thought really, really hard before doing that. But then again, you know, greed is the master of all deception, so I guess that's what's going to end up happening. Hidalgo's going to have to learn a hard lesson.
Hidalgo County District Attorney Ricardo Rodriguez cautions city leaders who pass such ordinances.
They're putting themselves in a difficult position because if the city's passing these ordinances, then it seems like maybe they're putting the agencies of law enforcement in a difficult position because, you know, maybe they're not proceeding with investigating these establishments because then it'll hurt, you know, these permits that have been issued.
The district attorney's office aided in last Friday's raid. Authorities confiscated machines and cash in the raid, and no arrests were made. But Rodriguez says if the illegal gambling doesn't stop, his office will have to seek harsher punishments.
I think that if this continues, you know, we're going to have to strongly be more aggressive on the properties themselves where the establishments are at. We're going to, you know, have to eventually make arrests and go after these properties as well. Okay, that's good.
Well, this is not a top priority for the DA's office. Rodriguez says they must keep these businesses in check before it breeds more crime. Hidalgo City Manager Julian Gonzalez tells Action 4 News that City Attorney Rick Perez is working on some of the language in the ordinance, so it hasn't been finalized completely. But when we did reach out to City Attorney Rick Perez, he was unavailable for comment. In Hidalgo, Brett Crandall, Action 4 News.
And we have requested for a copy of the ordinance approved Monday night, but city officials have not released it just yet. We want to know what you think about it. Head on over to our social media pages and sound off. You can search KGBT on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, right now we're going to find out about our forecast for the rest of the weekend leading up into spring break, where a lot of students are going to head out to the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show, Brian.
It's all about getting better, improving weather. That's the forecast on through the Rio Grande Valley through this week. But we've got to get there first. We've got to kind of hopscotch over some more rain coming on up from the south. Not heavy rain at this point, but just some light to moderate shower action pushing on into Hidalgo County there. You see from the south side of McAllen, west on through Mission, and then down in through Reynosa and east, just skirting around Westaco. Very light stuff indeed. Now, as far as current conditions, it's not bad out there. Westaco 65, Edinburgh 67 degrees at this hour. We look forward to more clouds in the forecast. North wind at 7 miles an hour for you, Edinburgh, and that north wind overnight tonight with temperatures going on down through the 50s. The chance for showers kind of surging back into the forecast as we move from midnight to dawn. And we're holding out to the chance for rain through tomorrow for one good reason. I'll show you that reason and the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show forecast all next.
Well, U.S. Customs and Border Protection announced a new initiative called Pride to take effect at local ports of entry in the Valley and Laredo. They tell Action 4's Ashley Custer to showcase their dedication to professionalism and accountability.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection and field operation officers from Hidalgo, Rio Grande City, and Roma ports of entry declare their commitment to professionalism, respect, integrity, diversity, and excellence through its new Pride initiative.
We want to build a culture and character that is reflective of the individuals that work for this agency and the agency itself to be proud.
Congressman Henry Cuellar has also pushed for this initiative, saying it's important that we treat those visiting the United States with professionalism and respect.
There will be now people that can call there would be no retaliation. People were afraid to call. Imagine you cross the bridge and then you want to complain to somebody who's been very rude to you. You know, there's been times where they threatened to cut up their visa, so people were afraid.
Mike Myers says he has a great working relationship with CBP. Myers is the director of public relations for the Reynosa Association of Maquiladores and is also a general manager for a large distributor in Mexico.
It's very important to be here to see these new initiatives for CBP and to see how they're trying to improve. It's something we do in the manufacturing system. You know, we identify problems, parts per million, and it's nice to see CBP doing the same thing.
This initiative will be able to streamline the process to allow those coming through the ports who may file complaints or compliments to professionalism service managers as a means of service feedback and to hold officers accountable.
It was important that CBP not only protect this, but they got to find that balance between security and what's legitimate trade and tourism, which is so important to the local economy. We got to make sure that the men and women that are actually the one that are conducting the interviews at the bridges get that message or train and make sure they understand there has to be a little bit of customer service as they do their job.
By the Anzalduas Port of Entry, Ashley Custer, Action 4 News.
Cuellar says that this initiative has started in Laredo and the Valley field offices. However, it is expected to become the model for the other CBP locations across the nation. And coming up right here on Action 4 News at 6, a man now in custody following a fatal wreck in Fort Worth. What police say happened and the charges he's facing. In your Texas Matters now, a Fort Worth man is facing serious charges after killing a mother and her 2 sons in a crash while driving drunk. Police say Ricardo Martinez's blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit when he drove his truck the wrong way and smashed into another car carrying a woman and her 2 sons. All 3 victims died while the woman's sister was left injured. Martinez facing 3 counts of murder and 1 count of intoxication assault. An elderly man who went missing from a nursing home has now been found dead. Rockwell police say searchers found the 74-year-old in the woods just a half-mile away from the home. They say the man suffered from several medical issues, including dementia and Alzheimer's. Police have not released a possible cause of death. And a 1-year-old boy safe tonight after firefighters rescue him from a smoking apartment building. Fort Worth police say the child's father left him alone at the apartment while he drove his wife to work. Neighbors reported smoke coming from the home, and when fire officials arrived, they found food burning on the stove. The boy has been treated for smoke inhalation. His father facing child endangerment charges. Thank goodness that little boy is safe and someone called out to help him. Right now we're talking about that weather because we've got a lot of spring breakers already in town, but we also have our big Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show coming up.
We do. We're trying to put the rain behind us. We still have some more in the forecast, and we've had plenty already. Look at Brownsville getting the prize. 2.5 inches ahead for the month so far, with more than 2 3/4 inches of rain falling. Harlingen not far behind, more than 1.5 inches ahead for the month so far, but McAllen struggling with only 3/10 of an inch so far this month. Hey, we're talking about that forecast for rain next. We're talking about light showers moving on up from the south. The chance for rain sticking with us overnight into tomorrow. I think tomorrow the focus will be coastal and lower valley, but right now the focus is upper valley with some of those light showers moving on into and around McAllen and Alamo and west of Mission. I'm expecting at least the chance for showers to hug the Rio Grande Valley through the morning hours. There you see bottoming out around 53 degrees and then pushing on in towards 60 by 10 o'clock or near 60, and the extended forecast has us topping out pretty nice on through the end of the week and the weekend. It's all good through Monday of next week.
So hugging going on in the weather department.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here on Action 4 News at 10. Bye-bye.